Cleveland Indians baseball. We're at Cleveland Stadium today as the Indians take on the California Angels. Angels are looking for their 10th consecutive win, while the Indians are trying to avoid a three-game sweep. Angels won yesterday 12-2 behind good pitching from Rudy May, while Milt Wilcox continued to be inconsistent for the Indians. Clyde Wright starts for California. He's made 10 starts on the year. He's 4-2 with an ERA of 3.38. And Gaylord Perry's going for Cleveland. He's made 11 starts. He is 6-3 with an ERA of 2.80. It's 85 degrees. Wind speed is 6 miles per hour in from left center field, and we have light rain, so the wind is coming in off the lake. Another warm day here at Cleveland Stadium. Starting lineup for the California Angels will be leading off the center fielder Ken Berry, batting second to third baseman Ken McMullen, batting third the catcher John Stevenson, batting fourth the first baseman Bob Oliver, batting fifth the right fielder Leroy Stanton, batting sixth the second baseman Sandy Alomar, batting seventh the left fielder Jim Spencer, batting eighth the shortstop Sid O'Brien, and batting ninth the pitcher Clyde Wright. On defense, the Indians will have Chris Chambliss at first, Jack Brohammer at second, Frank Duffy at shortstop, Greg Nettles at third, Alex Johnson in left, Del Unser in center, Roy Foster in right, Ray Fosse catching, and on the mound, Gaylord Perry. While the Indians have been getting good hitting this year, or good pitching rather, their batting has been a little sluggish. The only team in the majors that has scored fewer runs than the Indians are the Milwaukee Brewers, who are in last place in the AL East. The Indians are in second place with a record of 20-18. California's in first place in the AL West with a record of 29-14. They're 2.5 games ahead of second place Kansas City and 3.5 games ahead of third place Minnesota. Cleveland also has given up fewer runs in the major leagues with the exception of the Baltimore Orioles. Cleveland has scored 130 runs and they've given up 135 runs. They have a record of 11-7 at home. So in some ways, this has been a good season for them. Last year, their hitting was all right, but their pitching was really suspect. This year, right now, it's become the opposite. They've been doing pretty good in like situational hitting with men on base. But getting men on base has been an issue, and then advancing runners has been a little bit of a problem, and grounding into double plays has been a problem as well. Leading off for California will be Ken Berry, center fielder. He's hitting .373. He has 2 home runs, 17 runs batted in. Gaylord Perry is 6-3 with an ERA of 2.80 in 96 and a third innings. He's given up 80 hits. He's walked 20. He struck out 62. His last appearance was against Detroit. The Indians won that game 4-2. Perry said he only gave up really one bad pitch in the game, and that was to his fellow pitcher Joe Niekro, who doubled in 2 runs. But the Indians followed that with two-run singles that drove in 2 runs, first by Frank Duffy and then by Tom McCraw, and they won the game 4-2. Perry has won his last 2 starts. And before that, he had a no decision in a loss against the Yankees. And his last loss was against Detroit. And that was in Detroit. Ken Berry is 4 for 8 in this series against the Indians. He's driven in 3 runs. He scored 2. Here's the first pitch. Ball 1. Perry mixes up a fastball and a curveball. He has a good forkball. And he's alleged to throw the grease ball or spitball. Here's a grounder to first. Chambliss taking himself 1 out. This has been the first appearance that the Indians have made with California this year. They lost Friday night 3-1. That was something of a pitcher's duel between Ray Lamb and Nolan Ryan. Vince Colbert also pitched well in that game. And the Angels smacked the Indians kind of hard yesterday, 12-2. Indians pitching just wasn't up to the task yesterday. The Indians are trying to avoid their first 3-game sweep of the season. The Indians have not been swept at all this season yet. They haven't had a 2-game sweep against them either. That'll bring up Ken McMullen, the third baseman. He's hitting .310, 1 home run, 11 runs batted in. The 0-2 pitch. He hits a grounder to first. Chambliss will take that one himself. 2 outs. And that'll bring up the catcher, John Stevenson. He's hitting .194. No home runs, 3 runs batted in. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder to short. Duffy has it. He throws him out. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We played a half inning in Cleveland. California nothing. Cleveland coming to bat. Starting lineup for the Indians be leading off the shortstop Frank Duffy. Batting second to first baseman Chris Chambliss. Batting third, the left fielder Alex Johnson. Batting fourth, the third baseman Greg Nettles. Batting fifth, the right fielder Roy Foster. Batting sixth, the center fielder Del Unser. Batting seventh, the second baseman Jack Brohammer. Batting eighth, the catcher Ray Fosse. And batting ninth, the pitcher Gaylord Perry. On defense, the Angels have Bob Oliver at first, Sandy Alomar at second, Sid O'Brien at short, Ken McMullen at third, Jim Spencer in left, Ken Berry in center, Leroy Stanton in right, John Stevenson catching, and on the mound, Clyde Wright. Right like Perry, he mixes up the fastball and the curveball. He's not a hard thrower. He keeps the ball low and he induces a lot of ground outs. Leading off for Cleveland will be Frank Duffy, the shortstop. He's hitting 308, no home runs, 17 runs batted in. The 2-2 pitch. Duffy hits a blooper into right field for a base hit. That'll bring up the first baseman, Chris Chambliss. Chambliss is hitting 293 with no home runs, 9 runs batted in. Caught the outside corner, strike one. It's grounder to third. McMullen, his only plays the first. Chambliss tries to leg it out. He's out. One out. Duffy takes second. That'll bring up Alex Johnson. He's hitting 213, 1 home run, 14 runs batted in. Johnson came over to the Indians from the Angels. He went 2 for 5 Friday night, but he went 0 for 4 yesterday. Swing and a miss, strike one on a curveball. Johnson is a base hit in a right center. Barry got kind of a late break on that one. So 1 out, runners at the corners. That brings up Greg Nettles, the third baseman. Nettles is hitting 236, 3 home runs, 20 runs batted in. Nettles told the Cleveland beat reporters that he's having a little bit of trouble with his confidence playing under Ken Aspromonte. Whereas Alvin Dark would just pencil his name in every day, whether he's in a hitting slump or not, hasn't been the same with Aspromonte. And he's already talking about he wants to get traded. And there's been trade rumors that the Indians are talking to the Yankees about trading him to New York, possibly for pitcher Fritz Peterson. It looks like the Indians are already looking for pitchers to add to their starting rotation. Sitting 246 against lefties. Nettles hits base hit in the left field. Duffy scores. Johnson rounds second. He's going for third. He slides. He is safe. It's 1-0 Cleveland. That brings up the right fielder, Roy Foster. Foster's hitting 255 with no home runs and 5 runs batted in. Down and away, ball one. Swing and a miss on a curveball, strike one. That's high and outside, ball two on a changeup. Fouls it back. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Hits a grounder to first. Oliver has it. Johnson breaks for the play. He throws a second for 1 to first. Double play. 3-6-3 double play. The Indians get 1 run. 3 hits, no errors, no one left. Or 1 left. We played 1 inning in Cleveland. It's the Indians 1, the Angels nothing. Facing Perry in the bottom of the second will be the heart of the Angels order, Bob Oliver, Leroy Stanton, and Sandy Alomar. Bob Oliver is hitting 333 with 4 home runs, 19 runs batted in since coming over from Kansas City. The 1-1 pitch. It's a high fly ball in a left field. Johnson back. It's gone. Home run for Bob Oliver. That'll tie the game at 1 apiece. That's the 5th home run given up by Gaylord Perry this season. That brings up the right fielder, Leroy Stanton. He's hitting .263 with 3 home runs and 32 runs batted in. The 0-2 pitch. Liner down the left field line. That's fair. It's in the corner. Stanton slides into second with a double. That'll bring up Sandy Alomar, the second baseman. He's hitting .243. No home runs, 15 runs batted in. You have to look. I don't think Sandy Alomar ever played for the Indians. Nah, he didn't, but the Angels have 2 men in the starting lineup today whose sons will play for the Indians in the future. Speaking, of course, of Sandy Alomar Jr. and Jarrett Wright. Alomar's hitting .230 against right-handers. Alomar hits a base hit up the middle. Stanton rounds third, but he'll hold. So there's runners at the corners, nobody out. That brings up the left fielder, Jim Spencer. Spencer's hitting .298. No home runs, 12 runs batted in. Cut the inside corner, strike 1. Low, ball 1. Too high, ball 2. At the shoulders, ball 3. Spencer hits a base hit into right field. Stanton scores. Alomar's going for third to throw. He's safe. Alomar dove into third, and Nettles put the tag on him, but it was too late. It's 2-1 California. Still nobody out. Runners at the corners. That brings up Sid O'Brien, the shortstop. He's hitting .324. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. O'Brien was 2 for 3 yesterday with 2 walks. He had 2 doubles. Oh, the game called that one a spitball. High fly ball into right field, drifting foul. Foster's after it, but it makes the seats. It's a fly ball into left field. Johnson's drifting back near the wall. He's got it. Alomar tags. It's 3-1 California. That'll bring up the pitcher, Clyde Wright. Wright is hitting .318, 3 home runs, 6 runs batted in. He's 7 for 22 with 1 double and 3 home runs. He's a good bunter. They're playing him in for the bunt. He swung and missed at the curveball, strike 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Wright hits a base hit into center field. Wright rounds first. He slides into second. He's safe with a double. Spencer stops at third. So 1 out. Runners at second and third. That'll bring up Ken Berry. He's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Chambliss in the first inning. Liner down the first base line. That's foul. Low and inside, ball one. Spitball, huh? Curveball. He looks at strike two. High and inside, ball two. Base hit in the right field. Spencer scores. Right will stop at third. Runners at the corners. One out. It's 4-1. This has been Gaylord Perry's worst inning as a Indians pitcher this season. Ken McMullen's up. He's 0 for 1. Hits a fly ball into left field. Johnson's drifting over. He's got it. Right tags. It's 5-1 California. That'll bring up John Stevenson. He's 0 for 1. He grounded at Duffy in the first inning. Down and tight, ball one. Hits a hard grounder to third. Nettles up with it. Throws the first 3 outs, but it's a big inning for California. They got 5 runs on 6 hits, no errors. They left 1 man on base. We go to the bottom of the second. It is California 5, Cleveland 1. Del Unser leads off for the Indians, the center fielder, hitting .223. No home runs, 10 runs batted in. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder back to the mound. Right bobbles it. He can't handle it, and Unser's safe on the error. That brings up the second baseman, Jack Brohammer. Brohammer's hitting .220 with 1 home run, 4 runs batted in. He got off to a very slow start, but in the month of June, he's 8 for 11. For some context, this is June 4th. So Brohammer's hot right now. Check the swing. Stevenson appeals. Nope, ball one. Brohammer hits a grounder to second. Ellimer dives to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. Great play by Ellimer, and they get the 4-6-3 double play. That brings up the catcher, Ray Fosse. Fosse's hitting .185. 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. It's a hard grounder to short. O'Brien's up with it. Throws him out. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, 1 error, no one left. We play 2 here in Cleveland. It's California 5, Cleveland 1. It'll be the middle of the order for California in the third. Bob Oliver, Leroy Stanton, and Sandy Alomar. Bob Oliver is 1 for 1. He had a solo home run in the second inning. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 1 out. That's strikeout number 1 for Perry. Here's Leroy Stanton. He's 1 for 1. He had a double his last time up. The 2-2 pitch. Grounder to second. Brohammer's up with it. Throw to first. 2 outs. Here's Sandy Alomar. He's 1 for 1. He singled his last time up. The 0-1 pitch. Grounder right back to the mound. Perry throws him out. 3 outs. Nothing across for California in the third. We go to the bottom of the third. It's California 5, Cleveland 1. Gaylord Perry leads up for the Indians in the third. He's hitting 148. No home runs, 2 runs batted in. He's 4 for 27. He has one double. The 2-2 pitch. In at the knee. Strike three called. 1 out. That'll bring up Frank Duffy. He's 1 for 1 with a single today. The 1-0 pitch. It's a fly ball in the center field. Berry drifting back. He's got it. 2 outs. That'll bring up Chris Chambliss. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to Ken McMullen in the first. The 2-2 pitch. Slow roller to short. O'Brien up with it to throw to first. In the dirt. Oliver couldn't dig it out. Chambliss is safe at first. So 2 outs, runner on first. Here's Alex Johnson, who's 1 for 1 with a single. Curveball, he fouled that one back. Strike one. Low and outside, ball one. Ball gets past Stevenson. Chambliss takes second. That's a wild pitch. High, ball three. 3 balls and 1 strike. Johnson is a grounder to second. Alomar up with it. Throws him out. 3 outs. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left. We played 3 complete here in Cleveland. It is California 5, Cleveland 1. Let's go around the league and see what's going on today. Bottom of the 5th in Baltimore, the A's and the Orioles tied at 1 apiece. That is Blue Moon Odom against Pat Dobson. Top of the 2nd at Comiskey Park, no score between the White Sox and the Yankees. That's Mel Stottlemyre against Dave Lemons. Bottom of the 4th in Detroit as the Tigers lead the Twins 3-1. That is Norton against Joe Coleman. So Billy Martin's managing the Tigers, playing the Twins, who he formerly managed. Top of the 4th in Montreal, the Astros lead the Expos 4-0. Doug Rader hit his 11th home run for Houston. That is Dave Roberts, formerly of the San Diego Padres, against Carl Morton. Bottom of the 3rd in Philadelphia, Reds lead the Phillies 4-3. That's Jim McLaughlin against Steve Carlton. Top of the 2nd in Kansas City, Red Sox and Royals scoreless. That's Louis Tiant against Paul Splittorff. Louis Tiant is having a comeback season this year. He's 6-3 already. Top of the 6th in New York, the Braves lead the Mets 3-1. Dusty Baker hit his 3rd home run for the Braves. That's Phil Niekro against Jerry Koosman. And top of the 2nd in Milwaukee, no score between the Brewers and the Rangers. Stick Bosman against Skip Lockwood. Speaking of Louis Tiant, back in 1968, he was came very close to winning the Cy Young Award, pitcher for the Indians that year. Bottom of the order for the Angels in the 4th, Jim Spencer, Sid O'Brien, and Clyde Wright. Spencer is 1 for 1. He singled in the 2nd. That scored Lee Stanton. It's a high fly ball into right field. Foster's going back. He's at the wall. That's gone. Home run number 1 for Jim Spencer. It's 6-1. That brings up Sid O'Brien. He had a sacrifice fly in the second. That scored Sandy Alomar. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on a bad pitch. Strikeout number 2 for Perry. That's 1 out. Brings up Clyde Wright. He's 1 for 1 with a double back in the second inning. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 3 for Perry. Ken Berry, he's 1 for 2 with a single. He singled in the second. That scored Jim Spencer. The 1-2 pitch. Grounder up the middle. Brohammer to his right. Backhands it. Throw to first. That pulled Chambliss off the bag. First error of the game for the Indians. That's error number 6 for Brohammer. That brings up Ken McMullen. He's 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice fly in the second inning. That scored Clyde Wright. Grounder to second. Brohammer tosses to Duffy, and the inning's over. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It's California 6, Cleveland 1. Middle of the order for the Indians. In the 4th, it'll be Nettles, Foster, and Unser. Nettles is 1 for 1. He singled in the first. That scored Frank Duffy. The 3-2 pitch. Grounder to third. McMullen throws him out. 1 out. Here's Roy Foster. He is 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball down the right field line. That is drifting foul. Caught the outside corner. Strike 3 called. That's strikeout number 2 for Clyde Wright. That brings up Del Unser. He's 0 for 1. He was safe on an error in the second. Clyde Wright making that error. The 0-2 pitch. Another grounder back to the mound. Wright throws him out. Nothing across for Cleveland in the 4th. We go to the 5th. Here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, it is California 6, Cleveland 1. John Stevenson leads for California in the 5th. He's 0 for 2 today. The 1-2 pitch. Base hit into right field, into the gap. Got past Roy Foster, and Stevenson is in with a stand-up double. That'll bring up Bob Oliver. He is 1 for 2 today. He hit a solo home run in the second inning. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Just below the knees, ball 1. Too high, ball 2. Grounder back to the mound. Perry looks the runner back. Throws to first, 1 out. Brings up Lee Stanton. He's 1 for 2 with a double. Got the outside corner. Strike 1. Too high. Ball 1. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Base hit in a left field. Stevenson stops at third. We have runners at the corners. 1 out. Here's Sandy Alomar. He's 1 for 2 with a single. Change-up, swing and a miss, strike 1. In too close, ball 1. Base hit in the right field. Stevenson scores. Brohammer couldn't get to it. So we have runners at first and second, one out. Angels lead 7-1. Ray Lamb getting up in the bullpen. Jim Spencer's up. He's 2 for 2 with a single and a home run. His single scored Lee Stanton, and he hit a solo home run in the fourth. Curveball, up and in, ball one. Swing and a miss, strike one. Spitball. Inside, ball two. Hits a hard grounder to second. Brohammer to Duffy for one. The first, double play. 4-6-3 double play. California gets 1 run, 3 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. I'm sorry, they left 1 man on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It is California 7, Cleveland 1. It'll be the bottom of the order for the Indians in the 5th. Brohammer, Fosse, and Perry. Brohammer is 0 for 1. He grounded into a double play in the second inning. The 1-0 pitch. Grounder to short. O'Brien's up with it. Throws him out. 1 out. Here's Ray Fosse. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to O'Brien. And now we are under a rain delay. We're going to take a short time out. This is WJST in Parma, Norwich, and Tuscaloosa. And we're back. This is WJST in Parma, Norwich, and Tuscaloosa. Back after a short 12-minute rain delay. We're in the bottom of the 5th, 1 out, and Ray Fosse's the batter. Fosse is 0 for 1. He grounded it to Sid O'Brien in the second inning. Hits a grounder to third. McMullen's up with it. Throws him out. That brings up Gaylord Perry. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the third. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We played 5 complete. It's an official game here in Cleveland. California leads 7-1. The rain has stopped and the wind calmed down, but it looks like it may start up again any minute. Sid O'Brien leads off the 6th inning for California. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and he hit a sacrifice fly in the second inning. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball into right field. Foster's back near the wall. He's got it. 1 out. That'll bring up the pitcher, Clyde Wright. He's 1 for 2 with a double in the second inning. He struck out in the fourth. Up, Del Rice is calling him back. Mickey Rivers will pinch hit. Mickey Rivers is hitting .348, no home runs, 1 run batted in. I recently rewatched the ESPN series, The Bronx is Burning, about the 1977 Yankees. I love the portrayal of Mickey Rivers in that, and the portrayal of his wife too, demanding that to George Steinbrenner that Rivers' paycheck went to her because he spent too much money on silly stuff. He's over 1 as a pinch hitter. The 2-1 pitch. Grounder back to the mound. Perry throws him out. 2 outs. Here's Ken Berry, the center fielder. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Singled in the second, driving in a run, and he was safe on an error in the fourth. Hits a blooper into right center. Base hit. That's hit number 11 for California today. That'll bring up Ken McMullen. He's over 2. He had a sacrifice fly in the second. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Way inside, ball 1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Just low, ball 2. Too high, ball 3. Ball 4. First walk given up by Perry. That'll bring up John Stevenson. He's 1 for 3 with a double today. He doubled and scored in the 5th. Chin music, ball 1. Spitball. Too high, ball 2. Strike 1 called. Hits a grounder to first. Chambliss has it. He'll take it himself. 3 outs. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's California 7, Cleveland 1. Frank Duffy leads off for Cleveland. He's 1 for 2 today with a single. The 3-2 pitch. Eddie Fisher's the new pitcher for California. His record of 2-1 with 5 saves, an ERA of 5.64. He's a knuckleball pitcher. And he led off walking Frank Duffy. Fisher spent, I believe, 1 year with the Indians. Yeah, 1968, the last year that the Indians actually were a serious contender for the pennant. He's been around since 1959 in the majors. And been a regular bullpen occupant since 1962 with the White Sox. Spent some part-time years with the Giants, then went to the White Sox, the Orioles, the Indians, and now the Angels. It brings up Chris Chambliss, who's 0 for 2 today. He's hitting .315 against right-handers. Fouls that one back, strike 1. Too high, ball 1. Liner down the first base line, it's foul. Outside, ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just high, ball 3. It's a grounder to second. This could be two. To second for one. The first double play. 4-6-3 double play. That is the third double play turn by California in this game. Fisher, like Clyde Wright, gets a lot of ground outs. That brings up Alex Johnson, who's 1 for 2. He is a single today. It's a grounder back to the mound. Fisher low throw. Oliver kept it in front of him, though. Johnson is safe on an error. That's the third error today by the Angels. Charging Eddie Fisher with a throwing error. That'll bring up Greg Nettles. He's 1 for 2. He singled in the first. That scored Frank Duffy with the Indians' only run of the game so far. Knuckleball too high, ball 1. Too low, ball 2. It's a slow roller to short. Bryant's up with it. Only throws the first. Not in time. Nettles legged that one out. He has an infield hit. Pinch hitting for Roy Foster will be Tom McCraw. McCraw's hitting .328, 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in. As a pinch hitter, he's pinch hitting at .667, 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. Last month, he had home runs in 4 straight games, and 3 of those home runs were pinch hit home runs. Too high, ball 1. Low, ball 2. High and outside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Strike 1 called on a knuckleball. It's a grounder to short. O'Brien's up with it. Throw to first. Bang, bang, play. He's safe. He legged it out. Second infield hit for the Indians in the bottom of the 6th. That'll bring up Del Unser, the center fielder. He's 0 for 2 today. He's 1 for 2 with the bases loaded. Knuckleball's high, ball 1. Another one too high, ball 2. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Up and in, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. He swung and missed at another knuckleball. Strike 2, full count, 2 outs. The payoff pitch. Ball 4. Johnson scores. It forced in a run. It's 7-2. That'll bring up Jack Brohammer. He's 0 for 2 today. Brohammer's having a real hot streak right now with the bat. Ground ball down the first base or the third base line. That's foul. It's a fly ball in a right field. Stanton to his right has it. 3 outs. The Indians get 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error. They left the bases loaded. We played 6 here in Cleveland. It is California 7, Cleveland 2. New pitcher for the Indians. It will be Ray Lamb. Lamb has record of 2-1 with a 1.80 ERA. He has walked 11, struck out 29. Tom McCraw remains in the game in right field, and taking over at second base in a double switch will be Eddie Leone. Leone will hit in the 9th spot and Lamb in the 7th spot. It'll be the heart of the order for California in the 7th. Oliver, Stanton, and Alomar. Bob Oliver is 1 for 3. He hit a solo home run in the 2nd inning. Friday night, Lamb pitched 1 inning against the Angels. He gave up a home run. I believe that was Elise Stanton. The 2-2 pitch. High fly ball into left field. Johnson's there. He's got it. 1 out. Here's Lee Stanton. He's 2 for 3. He has a single and a double today. And no, that wasn't a home run. Stanton didn't hit a home run on Friday night. Don't remember. Maybe that was Spencer that hit that. No, it wasn't Spencer. I don't remember who hit it. The 2-1 pitch. Base hit in the left field. That's 3 hits today for Stanton. That'll bring up Sandy Alomar. He's 2 for 3 today. He has a pair of singles, and he drove in a run in the 5th. Curveball, ball 1. Swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 1. Another swing and a miss, strike 2. Alomar hits a base hit in the left field. Stanton stops at second. That's hit number 3 today for Sandy Alomar. That brings up Jim Spencer. He's 2 for 3 today. He singled in the 2nd, driving in a run. He had a solo home run in the 4th. In the 5th, he grounded it into a double play. It's a fly ball in the center field. Del Unser's there. He's got it. 2 outs. Here's Sid O'Brien, the shortstop. He's 0 for 2, and he had a sacrifice fly in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. Outside, ball 2. Caught the outside corner, strike 1. Check swing in at the knee, strike 2. The 2-2 pitch. Fouls it back. Count remains 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Another liner down at third base line. That's foul. Liner down at third base line. That's foul again. Low, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Payoff pitch. Ball 4. First walk given up by Lamb. So we have the bases loaded. 2 outs. And here's the pitcher spot. Eddie Fisher. Fisher is 0 for 1 as a hitter this season. Fastball, ball 1. Strike 1 called. Strike 2 called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Base hit in the center field. Stanton scores. Ellimer rounds third. He'll score. It's 9-2. Boy, this weekend the Angels are just beating the brains out of the Indians pitchers. Here's Kent Berry. He's 2 for 4. He has a pair of singles, drove in a run in the second. He was safe on an error in the fourth. Changeup, ball one. Ooh, this is like a 1971 series all over again. Fouls it back, strike one. Maybe they'll get it out of their systems. They got Oakland coming up during the week and Minnesota next weekend. Those are the last two teams the Indians have to face this season. They haven't played Oakland or Minnesota yet. Pop up third base side, foul ground. Nettles is after it. Makes the seats. Swing and a miss, strike three. California got 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is California 9, Cleveland 2. Look around the league again. At top of the 9th. In Baltimore, A's and Orioles are tied at 3. That's Raleigh Fingers against Eddie Watt. Top of the 6th in Chicago, the Yankees lead the White Sox 5-1. Thurman Munson's 3 for 3 today. That's Mel Stottlemyre against Vicente Romo. Bottom of the 8th in Detroit, Tigers lead the Twins 8-1. Eddie Brinkman hit his 4th home run of the year for Detroit. That is Dave LaRoche against Fred Sherman. Top of the 8th in Montreal, the Astros lead the Expos 6-4. John Bacabella hit his first home run of the year for the Expos. That is Jim Ray for Houston and Gilbert for Montreal. Bottom of the 7th in Philadelphia, Reds lead the Phillies 7-5. Johnny Bench is 3 for 3 today. Bench looks like he is completely over that wrist injury that really hampered him during the first half of last season. That's Jim McLaughlin against Steve Carlton. Bottom of the 6th in Kansas City, the Royals lead the Red Sox 2-1. That's Tion against Splittorff. And a final at Shea Stadium, the Braves beat the Mets 7-5. Dave Marshall went 3 for 5 for the Mets. The Mets are suddenly struggling. And Phil Niekro got the win for Atlanta. He's the first pitcher this season to get his 9th victory. Bottom of the 7th for the Indians will be Fosse, Leone, and Duffy. Ray Fosse is 0 for 2 today. The 3-2 pitch. Fouls it back. Count remains full. Ball 4. Third walk given up by Eddie Fisher. That brings up Eddie Leone, the second baseman. He's hitting 152. No home runs, 4 runs batted in. He's Greg Nettles' roommate. They're both very disgruntled with Ken Aspromonte, the Indians' new manager. And both went to the front office wanting trades. Here's a knuckleball, ball 1. Swing and a miss on a knuckleball, strike 1. Strike 2 called, another knuckler. Strike 3 called. First strikeout of the game for Fisher. That'll bring up Frank Duffy. He's 1 for 2. He has a single and a walk. Base hit into left field. Gets all the way to the wall. Duffy slides into second with a double. So 1 out, runners on second and third. That brings up Chris Chambliss, who's 0 for 3 today. Knuckleball, he fouled that one back. He lunged at that one. Rare Eddie Fisher fastball. Strike 2. Ball 1. It's a base hit up the middle. Fosse scores. Duffy rounds third. He's going to hold. So we have runners at first and third. 1 out. California leads 9-3. And here's Alex Johnson, who's 1 for 3. He singled back in the first inning. He's hitting 162 with runners in scoring position. Knuckleball. Ball 1. Ball 2. Swing and a miss on a curveball. Strike 1. Pop up third base side. McMullen's after it, but it makes the seats. Johnson, base hit in the right center. Duffy scores. Chambliss rounds second. He'll take third. It's 9-4. That brings up Greg Nettles. He's 2 for 3 with a run batted in. He singled in the first. That scored Frank Duffy, and he had an infield single in the 6th. Hitting .314 with runners in scoring position. Swung and missed on a knuckleball. Strike 1. It's a grounder to second. This could be 2. Elmar to second for 1 to first. Double play. 4-6-3 double play. Indians got 2 runs. 3 hits. No errors. 1 left. We played 7 here in Cleveland. It is California 9, Cleveland 4. Facing off against Ray Lamb in the 8th will be Ken McMullen, John Stevenson, and Bob Oliver. McMullen is 0 for 2 today with a walk. He had a sacrifice fly in the 2nd. It's a hard grounder to second. Leone throws him out. 1 out. That brings up John Stevenson. He's 1 for 4 with a double. The 3-2 pitch. Grounder right back to the mound. Lamb has it, throws him out. 2 outs. Here's Bob Oliver. He's 1 for 4. He hit a solo home run in the 2nd. He had a home run yesterday. The 1-1 pitch. Base hit into the gap in left center. Oliver with a stand-up double. That brings up Lee Stanton. He's 3 for 4 today. He doubled in the 2nd. Singled in the 5th. Singled in the 7th. Inside, ball 1. Cut the inside corner, strike 1. Swung and missed, strike 2. Up and in, ball 2. High and tight, ball 3, full count. Ball 4. Fosse's barking at the ump. So 2 outs. Runners on first and second. Here's Sandy Alomar, who's 3 for 4 today with a run batted in. Singled in the second, singled in the fifth. That scored Stevenson, and he singled in the seventh. Base hit up the middle. Oliver rounds third. He'll score. That's Alomar's 4th hit today. That'll bring up Jim Spencer. He's 2 for 4 with a single and a home run. Low and away, ball 1. Ball 2. Got the outside corner, strike 1. In there at the knee, strike 2. Fly ball down the right field line. McCraw's after it. And that'll make the seats. He hits fly ball into right field. McCraw's coming in. He's got it. 3 outs, but the Angels get 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's California 10, Cleveland 4. In the bottom of the 8th for the Indians, it will be McCraw, Unser, and the pitcher spot. Tom McCraw is 1 for 1. He had an infield single as a pinch hitter in the 6th. The 0-1 pitch. Grounder down the first base line, that's foul. Base hit in the right field. That'll bring up Del Unser. He's 0 for 2 today. He has a walk. He walked with the bases loaded in the 6th that scored Alex Johnson. He was also safe on an error. Ball 1. He hits a base hit up the middle. McCraw stops at second. Pinch hitting for Lamb will be Buddy Bell, the rookie. Bell's hitting 182, no home runs, 8 runs batted in. Bell's 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Knuckleball outside, ball 1. Strike 1 called. Bell hits one down the right field line. That's fair. That's in the corner. McCraw rounds third. He'll score. Unser stops at third. He's not going to run on Stanton's arm. Not with the Indians still down by 5. Here comes Del Rice. That'll be all for Eddie Fisher. Coming into pitches, Lloyd Allen. Allen's making his 6th appearance of the year. He has no wins, 1 loss, 1 save, an ERA of 1.35. He's pitched 6 2/3 innings. He's given up 3 hits. He's walked 4. He has struck out 6. He's a hard-throwing right-hander. And he keeps the ball low. He got an 89 2/3 innings in 56 games last year as a rookie. Here's Ray Fosse. He's 0 for 2 with a walk today. Fastball in there at the knees, strike one. So they'll be seeing a little bit of different pitching than they were from Eddie Fisher. Caught the outside corner, strike two. Strike three called. One out. That'll bring up Eddie Leone, the second baseman. He's 0 for 1. He struck out in the seventh. Ball one. Low and outside, ball two. High and tight, ball three. 3 balls, no strikes. He looks at strike one. Ball four. Low and inside. Bases loaded. 1 out. That brings up Frank Duffy. Duffy's 2 for 3 with a walk. Singled in the first. Walked in the sixth. He doubled in the seventh. Hits a grounder to short. To second for 1. The first double play. 6-4-3 double play. Leone took Alomar out, but Alomar was able to make the relay. And he's got 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, 1 left. We go to the 9th. It is California 10, Cleveland 5. New pitcher for the Indians will be Denny Riddleberger. Riddleberger's making his 12th appearance of the year. He has a record of 2 wins, no losses, 1 save, an ERA of 5.40. He has 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. The Indians are pulling a double switch. Riddleberger will hit in the number 1 spot, and Fred Stanley takes over at short. He will be batting in the 7th spot. In the 9th inning for California will be Sid O'Brien, the pitcher spot, and Ken Berry. Sid O'Brien is 0 for 2 today with a walk. He had a sacrifice fly in the second. The 0-2 pitch. Base hit into the right field gap. O'Brien slides into second with a double. Riddleberger came over from Washington along with Tom McCraw. He's a hard-throwing left-hander. Pinch hitting for Lloyd Allen will be Kurt Moton. Moton is making his first appearance with the Angels. I believe he came over from Oakland. Let me see. Or did he come from San Diego? No, he came over from Milwaukee. Losing track of some of these guys. He spent the bulk of his major league career with the Orioles. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike one. Moton became a member of the Angels on May 26th. Fastball. He chased one out of the zone. Strike two. Moten hits a base hit into left field. O'Brien stops at third, so we have runners at the corners. Nobody out. Here's Ken Berry, who's 2 for 5, 2 singles. He drove in Jim Spencer in the second. It's a fly ball in the center field. Unser drifting back is there. He's got it. O'Brien tags, and there'll be no throw. It's 11-5, California. Here's Ken McMullen. He's over 3 with a walk. He also had a sacrifice fly in the second. High and outside, ball one. Swing and a miss, strike one. Up and in, ball two. Ball three, 3 balls, 1 strike. Final in Philadelphia, Reds 7, Philadelphia 6. Ball 4. First walk given up by Riddleberger. That brings up John Stevenson, who is 1 for 5 with a double. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Strike one. There's ball one. Ball two. Missed outside. Ball three. Change up. Swing and a miss. Strike two. Full count. Ball four. Riddleberger's not happy. It looks like he feels like he's getting squeezed. That brings up Bob Oliver, who's 2 for 5. He had a solo home run in the second, and he doubled in the 8th. Bases loaded, 1 out. That was Riddleberger's second walk of the inning. Oliver's 2 for 6 with the bases loaded. High, ball one. Swing and a miss, strike one. Off the plate, ball two. Last weekend I mentioned a quote by Gaylord Perry, and he said, we'll find out what this team's really made of during the first extended losing streak. Looks like the Indians there's a good chance that they will endure their first series sweep this season. Grounder to short. This could be 2 to second for 1. Stevenson took out Leone. No throw to first. That makes it 12-5. California scored 12 runs yesterday. That brings up Lee Stanton. He's 3 for 4. He has 2 singles, a double, and a walk. Strike called on the outside corner. Up and in, ball one. So the Angels have scored 27 runs so far in this series. Fouls it back. Hard grounder down the third base line. That's foul. It's a fly ball into left field. Johnson's drifting back. He's near the wall. 3 outs. But California gets 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. They left 2 men on base. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's California 12, Cleveland 5. Steve Barber, the new pitcher for California. He's making his 8th appearance of the year. He's 3-1 with 1 save, an ERA of 5.19. He has walked 6. He struck out 2. He's He's a fastball pitcher, tends to keep the ball up, though. This is his first appearance against the Indians. Came to California on May 16th. Been around since 1960. Pitched for the Orioles, the Yankees, the Seattle Pilots, the Cubs, and the Braves before coming to California. Played in 2 World Series, 1966 with Baltimore, which they won, and the 1968 series with the Yankees, which they lost. So he's been on 1 World Series winner. It'll be Chambliss, Johnson, and Nettles for the Indians in the 9th. Chambliss is 1 for 4. He was safe on an error in the 3rd, and he singled in the 7th. That scored Ray Fosse. The 2-1 pitch. Grounder to short. O'Brien has it. Throws him out. 1 out. Here's Alex Johnson. He went 2 for 4 today. He singled in the 1st. He was safe on an error in the 6th, and he singled in the 7th. That scored Frank Duffy. The 0-2 pitch. Fly ball into center field. Berry to his right has it. 2 outs. Indians are down to their last out. And it's Greg Nettles up. He's 2 for 4 today. He singled in the 1st. That scored Frank Duffy. He singled on the infield in the 6th. And he grounded into a double play his last time up. The 0-2 pitch. Grounder down the third base line. That's foul. He hits a fly ball to center field. This should be it. Berry going back near the wall. He's got it. That's the game. California wins their 10th straight as Cleveland endures their first sweep of the season, losing all 3 games to the Angels. California scored 12 runs, 18 hits, 3 errors. They left 11 men on base. Cleveland had 5 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. They left 8 men on base. Clyde Wright got the win. He's 5-2, while Gaylord Perry got the loss. He is 6-4. Wright went 5 innings. He came out after rain delay. Gave up 3 hits and 1 run. Eddie Fisher had some trouble in 2 innings pitched. He gave up 8 hits, 4 runs, and he walked 3. Gaylord Perry had his worst outing of the year as a member of the Indians, going 6 innings, giving up 11 hits and 7 runs. Gave up 2 home runs. He walked 1. He struck out 3. And nobody on the Indians pitching staff looked good today. Ray Lamb gave up 5 hits and 3 runs in 2 innings, and Denny Riddleberger in 1 inning gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. Cleveland's pitching just couldn't do it on Saturday and Sunday. It looked pretty good on Friday night, though. But California outscored the Indians this weekend 27-8. Sandy Alomar went 4 for 5. He had 2 runs batted in. He scored 2 runs. Lee Stanton went 3 for 5 with a double. Bob Oliver went 2 for 6 with a home run and 2 runs batted in. Jim Spencer went 2 for 5. He had a home run. On the Indians side, Tom McCraw came in as a pinch hitter, stayed in the game. He was 2 for 2. Frank Duffy went 2 for 4. He scored 2 runs. Indians got 11 hits. They left 8 men on base, but they hit into 5 double plays. Going up against a couple of guys like Clyde Wright and Eddie Fisher, who keep the ball down. Time of the game was 3 hours and 22 minutes. And once again, the final score, California 12, Cleveland 5. Cleveland loses they get swept in their first time this year in a 3-game series. First time they got swept all year, and California wins their 10th in a row. Hope you enjoyed this game. I guess Indians just didn't look good this weekend, especially with the bats all weekend, and their pitching was lousy on Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully it'll pick up. They got Oakland coming in during the week and Minnesota next weekend. Oakland and Minnesota are the only two teams that the Indians haven't played yet this year. And this was their first series against California. So once again, final score, California 12, Cleveland 5. Hope you enjoyed this game, and thank you for watching.